Everybody's Hardy the Hat Guy. It is October. I'm standing outside of a cornfield. I got a Washington hat on. What's going on, Hat Guy? Where are we at? I got another piece of baseball history that is significant from right here in Indiana. First of all, outside of Dana, which is where I'm at, Dana is a good example of all these little towns. About 100 years ago, when baseball was thriving across the state, all these little towns had baseball teams. And, you know, you go about 20 cornfields that way, you've got Lynn Gilmore, Bobby Sturgeon. You go just across the county line that way over into Park County, of course, you have the legendary Hall of Famer Mordecai Three Fingers Brown. Dana, where I'm at or outside of, is most known for Ernie Pyle, which is the rest park I'm in right now. Ernie Pyle was a war correspondent in World War II, and we're not going to talk about him, but if you're a history buff and you younger guys, you haven't heard of Ernie Pyle, you need to look him up. That's a great story by itself. But like I said, he was in World War II. We're outside of Dana, and I got a Washington hat on. All three of those come into play for this story. Let's go in town to Dana, and let's talk about why they're important. Here I am in Dana at the baseball field in Dana, Indiana. Not far from here, in 1919, is a guy born by the name of Bert Shepard. So let's fast forward to August 4th of 1945. You history buffs know that's a pretty significant time in history, days before we dropped the atomic bomb on Hiroshima. Well, Bert Shepard got in 5 1/3 innings for the Washington Senators versus the Boston Red Sox, and that was his whole career, 5 1/3 innings. Well, might not sound too significant, but let's back up a little bit. A few years before that, Bert Shepard was drafted not for Major League Baseball, but by the U.S. military. He was a P-38 pilot in World War II, and he was shot down in May of 1944 over Germany. Fast forward a little bit, he comes home with an artificial leg. He goes to training camp for the Washington Senators, and he's still in batting practice and during the season, but they let him go in that game. He pitches those 5 1/3 innings, and still to this day, he's the only pitcher in Major League Baseball history to pitch on an artificial leg right here from Dana, Indiana.